Sanders. Chains on and the diamonds dancing. Game on, so it's time to go. When the rain starts, I'ma let you know. Name a squad that is better though than my whole team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like yeah. In the field like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like what? In the field like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like what? Whole squad like yeah. In the field like yeah. All day like yeah. All night like yeah. Whole squad like yeah. In the field like.
A fight for the right to be number one. It's the coach. This is NFL football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, it's a battle of the top two teams in the AFC West, as it'll be the LA Chargers taking on the Denver Bronco. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between our visitors and the Denver Broncos. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The final playoff
Let's
push
go, boys.
is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Charger offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of NC State. It's Phillip Rivers.
I'm actually old enough to remember him hitting the league, and so many people are talking about his throwing motion at the time. A little bit unorthodox. No one talks about it anymore except in admiration. The ball gets to the target really well and usually with big production.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And right away, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
To put it mildly, that is not the way anyone wants to start off a game. You fumble on your first offensive snap. But now what you're worried about is, does that linger throughout the game for your guys on offense? And how's the defense going to handle it?
Are you kidding me?
No one expects to run out on the field on the first play and have to all of a sudden start to play themselves.
That one goes for 16 yards. It sets them up first and goal. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
Go set, 30 base.
Shotgun snap to Lock.
Fuck.
He's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, but now it's 3rd and goal. Lock now on 3rd and goal. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. T.J. Hockenson, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
The big fella was the recipient there for that touchdown pass, and it seems like more and more the tight end is the guy you have to worry about most in the passing game.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. And he's got it. 7-0 Broncos. So that drive, 4 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Melvin Gordon now, he and the offense, they trot back out there. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. 1 carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball, got a full game ahead of him, hand it to him again, see if they can start to produce.
The Charger drive about to get going. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
This is Gordon. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. Defensively, we check the starters now for Denver. They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it?
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
On 3rd down, Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa, what a season he continues to have. His 15th sack of the campaign. Partner, we had their game last week where they had 6 sacks, so a little bit more momentum here again in the first quarter.
And last week it appeared that they were coming out of sprinters blocks, chasing the quarterback. So how do they continue that? How do they keep making it happen? Different looks, different disguises, different angles that they chase it.
They were so disruptive last week. We'll see what the trend is here as we go forward. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 33. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and that will come the offense as they take over. Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. On 1st down, Locke. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver 1st down. Locke now on 1st down. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver 1st down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Locke now on 1st down. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. T.J. Hockenson, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Broncos push further out in front. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Rivers going to turn and give this one to his running back, Gordon. And, boy, this defense, again, really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. The All-Pro Von Miller there on the tackle. On 2nd down, they'll run with Gordon. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for 3rd down.
Playing pass all the way.
From the shotgun, it's Rivers. And that is incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense. Just flooded the field with defensive backs. Blanketed everyone. Took away all the passing angles. Thus, the incompletion.
And he gets this away. And look at this. This is a good one. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, it could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now.
He's got the lane, and there he goes. Past the 20, 10. And he just falls short down at the 1.
Damn it, I was showboating way too early.
A big play there on the catch and run. 79 yards. Well, that didn't take long. 1 play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. And this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton, his 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet
Really,
with coaches,
Zebras?
why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they were able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff. But, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Melvin Gordon and the Chargers ready for their next possession. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you got a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for him here as we sit in the 2nd quarter. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Rivers into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. Room here to run. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. The intended receiver there, Allen.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. On second down, a run with Lindsey. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey shedding the tackle, still churning. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. On second down now, it's Lindsey. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Philip Lindsey, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Broncos push further out in front.
We know that the big guys won't get the credit, Brandon, but we also know that that touchdown belongs to them. Excellent job of clearing the way for their running back.
Seibert on for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it was capped off by a Philip Lindsey touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Phillip Rivers and his Chargers about ready to take over again. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people. Lean on your teammates. Find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
If he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. Nothing at all on that one. It'll be second down. To throw again on second down. Rivers gets it to Gordon. Able to corral him right at the midfield stripe following that sparkling display of footwork we saw. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. Rivers now from the 50. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Khalil Mack in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. And here the pressure from the outside linebacking spot.
And normally when that happens and they're able to get home, that means the other guys on his team helped him out a lot. That they occupied people to allow it to be no less than a one-on-one situation, allows him to get home.
Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Here's Ryan Quigley now as he's on to punt for L.A. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards up on 1,000. Could get there on this drive. So a challenge for him to do that, but also defensively, maybe a challenge for them to not allow that.
And that means probably kicking even more coverages to his side. And what that really means is wherever he lines up, you will have a cornerback over in his area.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way home for a Bronco score. DK Metcalf, 79 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment for the guys covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by them. And once he's by them, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And a route is on here in this first half. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Phillip Rivers now gears up to take the offense back out there. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown one interception. He wants to bounce that off with at least one touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10. Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. And that's been a back-and-forth game, all tied in the second quarter.
The Tank Bowl.
From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Baltimore Ravens. Andy Dalton, a strong performance there, over 300 yards passing with 3 touchdowns in the victory. Finally, let's get out to the Bay Area, see what's happening with the Raiders at home in Oakland. And they were losers in that one as they fall to the visiting Tennessee Titans. A 3-touchdown differential in the end, 35-14, the final. In the game you're watching, it's been Drew Lock with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now trotting back out with the rest of his offensive mates, the big tight end. And what can they do to better account for him? Because they haven't accounted for him well so far as we see here on your screen.
They may have to drop coverages they haven't run so far. They have to create something on the fly because he's beaten everything. And when you watch this game unfold, you keep thinking to yourself, is it 2 men, 3 men, maybe even a 4th guy may have to go and account for him. But right now, he's shredding the defense.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Able to fight through 1 tackle. And now off to the races, down the right side. And all the way home for a Bronco score. Phillip Lindsay, his 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season as his guys continue to pour it on. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. 1 play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now Rivers throw into the hands of Gordon. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball. And I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
On first down, Lindsey. Fighting his way, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. An 18-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, it's got him in the lead. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Well, they got the ball in great field position. 1 play later, boom, end zone. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Chargers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. On 3rd down, Rivers. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here's Ryan Quigley now. He's been terrific so far. With it is Brown. Bust through the tackle. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. Out there to start their next drive, Phillip Lindsay and the Broncos. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now it's Lindsay. And he's going to get across midfield and into Charger territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, it's Lindsay, and he's got room. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. It's been a remarkable day at the office for him running the football. Those yards just continue to pile well past 100.
And how about more than double-digit carries in the second half alone? That's what you want as a runner, because you've got to prove to your offensive line that you're going to be as tough as they are. They don't rotate in and out on every play. Running backs often do, so those who can stay out there with their offensive linemen, those are the guys they really value.
23 yards, the final tally.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it, because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches, because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate, with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline, because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And no pitch there, and no chance either, as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Chargers on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Working out of the gun, Rivers completes it to Benjamin. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Locke. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And a nice gain at 21 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Cortland Sutton, his second TD of the game and 18th of the year, as his guys continue to pour it on.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Seibert on for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it ends with a Denver touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
At the 28-yard line.
To throw is Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. 3rd and long for Rivers. And this is going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he fields it cleanly. A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
Call it a gain of 3, and it'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets them up now 1st and goal. A lot going to throw it here. They'll find Lindsey here. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That's good for a gain of 6, second and goal. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Move. Five down. Stand up in. .52's the mic, boys. 52. Let's go, D. Tighten up. Let's go.
Now Locke again. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on third and goal? Locke now to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And one of the whistles for timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. And they're going to go for this thing. They're not going to leave anything to chance. They're going to roll the dice on fourth and goal. They'll go for it. It's Locke. And give them another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. Following the touchdown, here's Seibert now to kick it off. This one fielded at the 5.
Here we go.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, up a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Broncos, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for our visitors, it's starting to look like it won't be their year as they drop to 5-6. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.